Opinions and ideas expressed in the following Moraine Valley Broadcast Channel recording are those of its creators and do not represent the views of Moraine Valley Community College.
Right. Hi, my name is Evelina, and with me today we're going to talk about the Fight for 15 movement, and we're just going to go around and talk about what our point of view is on it. So I'm Evelina, and I support the Fight for 15 movement because it will lift millions out of poverty by paying workers a livable wage in both fast food industries and low-wage income jobs. It will save the government money from subsidizing these low-income families or individuals and better distribute the taxpayers' money. I support this movement also because it will promote forming a union that can help secure these changes and offer benefits to workers.
My name is Sylvia Rios. I support the Fight for 15 for fast food workers because it will boost the minimum wage. This will lift millions of these workers out of poverty levels, and also less of them would rely on public assistance programs, which cost billions of dollars to taxpayers. In result, the state would budget billions of dollars towards the state. In addition, workers have the right to unionize in order to build a security for their families.
Hi, my name is Aliyah Yaqub, and I support the Fight for 15 movement because I feel like farm workers deserve way more than, they deserve $15 an hour so they can support their families and put food on the table. I feel like taxpayers also, it lifts the Fight for 15 movement lifts people, jobs out of poverty, and then I support it because I feel like they should earn $15 an hour to support their families and children.
My name's Monica, and I support the Fight for 15 and a union because a union will allow workers to have added benefits and better working conditions. Raised low wages and minimum wages will take a lot of people out of poverty, and subsidizing fast food workers and other large corporations is costing the U.S. government hundreds of billions of dollars.
We're going to go next to discuss how our position has changed. So me personally, my position definitely changed. In the beginning, I thought I said no to the Fight for 15, but towards the end, as I read more about the facts and experiences of people who don't have that age, then I started to support it.
I was against the Fight for 15 because I thought that it didn't really take much skills to work at a fast food restaurant. But then it changed, once I read everything and, how much we spend on tax money because of these jobs. And then people shouldn't really struggle to meet the ends meet.
Still supported it from the beginning because I felt like farm workers, they work in fields, they, grow crops and stuff. I feel like the fast food workers, they work hard and stuff. I feel like they do deserve $15 an hour, and I feel like this can help them with education if they feel like going, or they want to go to college or get a degree and stuff. I feel like they deserve $15 an hour, and I didn't, my opinion didn't change.
My opinion didn't change either because before, when we learned about the union, I knew that unions were good and they would help workers get the wage they deserve and also help them with different healthcare programs and keep the benefits and have better working conditions. But in the beginning, I also did think that these workers deserved higher wages, but I didn't really have a reason behind it, just that they are struggling, the families. But after learning that the government has to subsidize these large corporations $152.8 billion a year, even though the corporations are more than capable of paying their workers, I thought that was just ridiculous, and that we have to have a movement to have that money go towards something else, like education or better roadways and other things that we need the money for.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Monica, because when I read about that too, that we spend that much money to subsidize these working families, especially that they're working full-time or sometimes even more than full-time, and they're not getting paid those hours, but they still have to struggle to make ends meet. One family I read about was that she's 10 years a McDonald's worker, gets $9 an hour, and four-person family. She has two daughters, and she still has to rely on Medicaid and food stamps. And also, what I read was a family of four, the poverty line is 24,000, and she doesn't even make that much, so she's definitely below the poverty line. And that's why I would support the Fight for 15, because I feel like these low-income workers deserve a livable wage. I mean, they're working all the time.
Yeah, I also think that I read about another family, Terrence Wise. He works for Burger King and McDonald's, and his fiance, Miosha, is a home care worker. So it's not just the fast food industry that's getting low wages. There's a lot of industries. And so this Fight for 15 would help the fast food workers, but then it also create competition in other fields so that they raise their wages as well, and it's not just the fast food industry that's going to benefit from this.
48% of home care workers are on that non-livable wage. I mean, they get paid $7 to $8 an hour, just the same as fast food workers. And then some of the arguments, the counter arguments, are like, oh, fast food workers don't deserve to get paid that much if they didn't go to school. Yet 25% of college professors still qualify for federal aid grants and those food stamps, and so clearly that's not a viable argument.
And there was the other video that we watched in class where the one worker that worked at KFC was a veteran, but he liked what he did, so it's not just like that's the only job they have. Like, some people actually enjoy their job at those fast food restaurants, so it's not, you can't like tell them like, oh, you can't get 15 hours because that's the kind of job you have. Some people actually enjoy it, so it's not,
it's their choice.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
I also read an article that it talks about how this campaign has persuaded Seattle and like San Francisco and Los Angeles and New York to adopt a 15 minimum wage, and not to mention Chicago has raised their minimum to 13 also because of this.
I also agree, cause like with the Fight for 15 movement, cause in class like we learned about like the struggles and like and whatnot, like what farm workers have to go through, like fast food workers in general, and the money and like supporting a family and putting food on the table for their family each night. Like, and some work full time, and yes, like I also agree, like they might not get paid for all the hours they worked, like that can be caused into like wage theft and stuff.
We can continue on to talk about the counter arguments that are either on the internet memes or just online. Like, for example, if any of you posted on Facebook, I heard like a girl say in class that a big argument about that is like, oh, the cost of living will go up if we pay everyone $15. Or like the internet memes are all about like that, like they don't, these fast food workers, they're mainly targeted towards fast food workers, and like just like saying that they don't even deserve it because they didn't go to school.
Yeah, and like how they don't save lives or not fighting for the country.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's just an invalid argument because it's two separate things, and like those different jobs have like different benefits to them, and like say if it's you're a soldier, you could get different like benefits and different discounts, and you get like health care for free for like the rest of your life, and fast food workers don't have anything to it, so it's not something you can compare directly because it's like comparing apples to orange instead of like apples to apples.
Yeah, they have also more to take care of, more payments, more cost of living things. Do you guys have anything to add on to that about the counter arguments online?
I just like don't think that they're educational. They need to like educate themselves more about that whole situation, and they would like realize.
Yeah, and I also agree, like they don't really need a degree. Like food workers work full time, like some of them work full time, and like I don't think they need a degree to go to college to learn, like, you know, like they can support their family and stuff. And yeah,
I also looked into like raising the minimum wage and how it would affect small businesses, but the small businesses were interviewed, and 3 out of the 5 small businesses said that raising the minimum wage gradually would actually help them because there would be more money flowing within their community and the economy, that it wouldn't really affect them either way, and they actually do support it.
I actually work at a small business, and I asked my boss about it, and he was so against it, but like Knowing what I know, I feel like there's more to it than just like, oh, I'm going to have to raise the prices of my merchandise because I won't have enough to pay my workers. But I mean, there's a whole economic factor to it. Like, there will be so much more money saved in the U.S. budget that can be distributed in so many different things because we're not gonna have to be subsidizing these low-wage workers, not just fast food workers, but like majority of them are in the under the poverty line, or like Walmart workers, anyone who's like low wage. We're not gonna have to subsidize them, and this money can be distributed in our economy more efficiently.
Yeah, I feel like those people that just reject it right away, they're not educated and they just kind of say like that comes off the top of their head where it's just like, how am I going to be affected by it? And they don't research into it and they don't know the facts of it. So it's just like a kind of like a defense mechanism. Like, I won't be able to pay for anything if they raise their wage, but it's not like that at all.
There was an article in Australia where they paid their workers $14.50 an hour in McDonald's, and prices like don't really change. They're like from 6 cents to like 70 cents extra compared to the prices here in America.
And to just sum up, I know like we all talked about a little bit in our thesis statements about unions. So do you guys support the unions?
I do support the union. I think it would help boost our middle class up by them creating a union.
Yeah, because there would be somebody fighting for like their working conditions and their wages and different benefits like healthcare. So they always have somebody there. So if they do have to go against that huge corporation, they have
A
like,
backbone.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I feel like the union will secure that change and keep future wages and raises, you know. So to wrap up, I think we can all agree that we support the Fight for 15 because it will help our economy, it will help the workers, and there's so many more benefits than bad things about paying low wage workers $15 an hour.